So, lastash, hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Calradia Pod. Thank you for coming.
Hello, thanks for having me.
So, tell me about yourself. How did you start playing the mod?
So, I'm Lastash. I'm from the UK. I started playing the mod when a friend of mine, who I play Warband with, we play an Napoleonic Wars of Warband together. He came to me and said, "Hey, look at this new mod." And I think it was the second day the mod came out, so it was sometime in April 2021. And that's how I found the mod basically, just through my friend. I think he'd seen some sort of Jackie Fish video or something. Um, So in terms of, I've been playing the mod most of the time, like basically the entire time through, with maybe a month or two breaks here and there. So I probably played for like 90% of the time the mod's been out. So I mean, first of all, I started playing right at the start, and then it was just a bit boring right at the start, so I quit for a while. But when I came back during the Wildlands update and joined Temeria, just had a good time. Um, so I just go through every clan I've been in, or shall we leave that till later?
Mm-hmm. So, what was the first clan you joined?
So the first clan I joined was Temeria. So I was looking for a clan that was Vlandian because I was quite a fan of the Vlandian faction, and I didn't like Octavius. I just didn't really like him. He seemed a bit kind of sketchy to me. So I joined the only Vlandian clan that wasn't like a vassal of Octavius. So that was Temeria. Unfortunately, they got kicked out of Vlandia like through some diplomacy that even though there wasn't any PvP at the time, we still got kicked out and relocated to the Empire. But yeah, that was under Foltest. He was the first leader of Temeria.
Ah, okay.
Um, so yeah, it was a pretty chill clan. It's got some of the players who were in Temeria. I'm still playing with them now. Like for example, Rothius and Pratman. I would say the two main players from Temeria still playing at the moment.
What happened then? What happened? When did Hesse come up?
So Hess existed at the same time as Temeria. So I think Jacob van Bick, if I'm
Okay.
saying his name correctly, he was the original founder of Hess, and Hess is a regiment in the Napoleonic Wars. So basically, he made another clan with the same name in Battle Online. And it was a very popular German clan. So the reason I didn't join Hess right at the start is because it was mainly German and Scandinavian players in it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
so we ended up being in the same alliance during the Wildlands. So it was Hess, Temeria, and I think there was a couple more like FMC and I think Gottec was in there as well. Like I wasn't involved in the diplomacy at the start. I was just a normal player.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some sort of empire system we had going.
Yeah.
It was all in Discord and everything, and we had a couple of different clans in there. So I was communicating with Hess quite a lot. Um, But yeah, like we had a bit of fun in the Wildlands, and I think I remember Rex was in Hess as well. Rex Crotorm, if you remember his name.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
still
Of
playing
course.
now. He was a crazy guy back then, starting lots of wars. Um, but yeah, basically after the clan update, Foltest.
Yeah.
Well, this is a big rift between me and Tiberius. I so Foltest was basically offline for like 3 months or something for the clan update. We had a series of meetings about where to put our clan hall, about
Mm-hmm.
where to place our clan of Temeria. And
Yeah.
we agreed to Ionica. Everyone else agrees Ionica. All the members, everyone. And then Voltes came back on the day of the clan update and just said, "No, we're going to be in Rysea." And
Okay.
I'd already done all the quests and everything, so I was just like, "I'm leaving now. I can't deal with this."
No.
So I
Yeah.
ended up joining Hess because a lot of my friends are in there and they were in Zionica, so I wanted to be in Zionica too. So that's when I swapped clans and joined the Hessian clan.
So, what was Hesse's diplomacy like back in the day?
So we had been locked in a war with runaway scorpions for pretty much the entire of the wildlands. I think at one point someone attacked them. I think it was a Temerian who attacked the runaway scorpions, but the
Yeah.
Temerian was playing as a mercenary. I think it was Jack Ball, and then that basically started a never-ending war. I don't think the war has ever finished. It's been going on since the wildlands. between the Empire and Runaway Scorpions. But yeah, basically, Hesse and Bavaria were in a war against the South Alliance altogether, and yeah, I mean, we were on our own initially, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually we joined in. I think eventually, maybe a week into clan update, Runaway Scorpions and Calradia's faction, which I think was called. It wasn't Lucky Snakes, but it had a different name back then. But uh, all the Southern Alliance attacked Landu as well, and we kind of made a little alliance after that. But I mean, yeah, I mean the Hessian diplomacy was pretty much the same as I've been for a while. It was quite stagnant, really. Um, but yeah, like they're having a lot of fun. Going around as a group of 5 people fighting whoever we can find.
So Hesse was
Um,
mainly PvP clan at that point, yeah.
yeah. There was very few people who weren't doing PvP. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, I think every single member was doing PvP back then, and we'd always try and get a group of 5 every day, to go and find someone to fight. I mean, quite often we just end up making a group of 5 with Volksmen and Azerai Mamluks and just walking to Artesia and fighting whoever attacked us, which was quite a bit of fun, really. Just
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
what happened with Hesse then? Did Hesse rebrand in some other clan, or what
yeah. So
happened?
I mean, there were a series of events which happened to Hess. I mean, I suppose the first one was when Hess and Temeria were broken apart.
Okay.
So at that point, we had been in the UCC for a while, which was the
Yeah.
United Clans of Calradia. That was a faction with basically anyone who wasn't the Southern Alliance.
Yeah, all of them were
So
there. Yeah.
yeah, so we were all fighting them, and after a while, when the Frost Sands came out, the UCC took over the Frost Sands, and the Southern Alliance was in the Wildlands. So it's like a two-way war, and eventually we kind of got bored of the Frost Sands, and as Hess, we left Temeria.
Yeah.
So we made an agreement to leave this big alliance and become our own clan, with no other real diplomacy, and just keep fighting the Southern Alliance on our own. I think there have been some sort of leadership dispute which caused this, but I wasn't privy to it. So um, I mean that's as much as I recall about it because it was about a year and a half ago now or something.
Yeah.
And then we ended up being our own clan. We split up from Temeria, and then about a week later we ended up joining the FDL.
Okay.
I mean, that was something that a lot of people were quite annoyed about because when we left the UCC, we said we wouldn't join another big alliance, and then within a week, we just went and joined another one straight away. So I had quite a few dissatisfied members leave Hess and join Temeria after that. Um,
Okay.
and then in the FDL, it was the same sort of thing again. So we took control of the Frost Sands, and no one ever really challenged us. The UCC had a policy of not sending anyone into the Frost Sands, like not even bothering to attack. And the strategy kind of worked because the reason for that policy was just to make the FCL players bored, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually,
Burn them out. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, well, I mean, at that point, it was, I think it was me, Joachim, Dabron, Anabolica, and Armethan, really. In
Yeah.
Hesse, it was just 5 of us. And Joachim and Dabron quit. I think it was when Persistent Empires came out.
Mm-hmm.
Around that time, they went to go and play just normal multiplayer. So then, at the end of the day, it was 3 of us. I took command of Hess at that point because Joachim simply wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Um, and then I left the FDL, so I betrayed all our FDL buddies because basically I took command of Hess, and then the very like within an hour I left the FDL straight away,
Mm-hmm.
and declared war on them. So I was a bit rude to our former allies, but there we are. And then eventually we got back with Myzia. I mean, that was the reason we left the FAL to go back with Myzia, to go back with our old members. And after a couple of weeks, it might have been a month or two, we eventually merged. So Hesse and Myzia, Hessen, sorry. Yeah, it'd been rebranded to Myzia at that point. But
Mm-hmm.
Hesse, Myzia, and Butter, Bear, and Banden, which was a German clan as well,
Yeah.
merged into the Northern Empire. So now the clan which is called Northern Empire is the former Hesse clan.
Uh-huh. Okay. So how are things were doing when you rebranded to Northern Empire? Did you gain more members? Or did you get new people?
Yeah, yeah, I would say we did lose the brand recognition because obviously Hess was quite a famous name.
Yeah,
Um,
long
but
history behind it.
yeah, but at that point, with only 3 players left, it wasn't really a clan you could recruit other people into. You need like a core number of players who are active really to be able to have a clan. And I mean, the minimum really is 5.
Yeah.
So by merging together with the other 2 clans, we became a stronger clan. And I think it's definitely worked for recruiting new players. We do get quite a number of players coming in. Maybe just because they're fans of the Empire in the game or something, but I think the Northern Empire name does help a bit for new players to identify where we're located and everything.
Yeah, it's much easier for them
Um,
to know.
yeah, yeah. So I think it does help, and it's been a positive influence overall. Although I do miss the name. I was a big fan of the Hesse name and the banner and
Yeah.
everything. It was quite iconic. But there we are. I mean, yeah, like it was. That's pretty much the story of Hess. Very simplified, and I'm sure I've made a lot of mistakes, but uh, yeah, like that's how it went.
Uh, yeah. Okay. Did Northern Empire have like 3 or 4 clans at one
Yeah,
point?
so we had Northern Empire, which was the Hess clan, Northern Empire 2, which was Mazdia clan, Northern Empire 3, which was Butter, Bear, and Banden, and then
Mm-hmm.
Northern Empire 4, which was another clan made by another member of ours. And I think there was just 4, but we used to have like 3 or 4 clans just filled up with people, completely filled up, people on all accounts and everything. So that was about 30 active players.
Mm-hmm. What happened? I saw like one day there was all of these Northern Empire clans. Now there was only like 1 or 2. What happened there?
Well,
Did
we
all of
still
them
have
go off?
3 clans which are full up with players. So we got Northern Empire, Northern Empire 2, and Northern Empire Frostlands Legion.
Aha.
Um,
Okay.
but but it's the activity went down and it's gone back up again recently. So I think one of the big causes of the drop was the crashing problems in the game, and also some of our newer players getting to the end of the grind and then not knowing what else to do. So I
Yeah.
mean, there are a couple of different reasons, but a lot of players stopped playing. Probably, yeah. Majority was the crashing. The crashing was the big thing that caused people to stop. So we actually ended up selling one of our clans. I think Northern Empire 4 was sold.
Okay.
So now we only have 4 clans. But yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I saw the. I mean, the crashes were awful, like at all the times. Your game would crash. The 5v5s are unplayable. I think now they fixed kind of 5v5s. Did you get any lags with
yeah. I mean,
recent fights?
it's all fixed now. So all the crashing is absolutely fixed, and there's nothing else going on. It's just mainly the desync which annoys people. Well, that's been here for 2 years, and it will never go away. I don't think. So you just got to learn to live with the getting hit through the shield, really.
So is Northern Empire recruiting now? Are you
Um,
training up new players, or what's happening now with Northern
we
Empire?
get occasional. We've got about 2 or 3 new players in the last week, but mainly I think what we're doing is we're just getting people who are used to be playing to come back. We've
Hmm.
got about 5 or 6 people who've come back who had quit before, so that's how we're growing at the moment. And I think it's better because it's much faster if you recruit someone who's already been playing. They've got
Yeah,
all the money, they've got all the skills and everything.
yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
much
we
easier
are
than to
growing.
build to scratch. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely, definitely.
So, Lastash, can you tell me what is this thing going on about empires being slaves?
Yeah, so that was a meme that someone in Crazy made up. I think it might have been Sapphire or someone. Um, but there's, I mean, so it's about Empire and Arnor really, and also Vlandia and Arnor. So, how do I say this? So Arnor was a very strong faction. There was a 3-way war at one point. Arnor and Wild Hunt, etc. on one side, Crazy Boys and their minions on the other side, and then Empire and Vlandia sort of together
Yeah.
on. And we were feeling pretty weak at that point. We weren't doing very well. All of our new players were getting wrecked, and a lot of members wanted to join one side or the other, or just somehow make peace. So in the end, I think all our members didn't like Crazy. Our members hated Crazy more than they hated Arnor. So we decided to try and approach Arnor, and I believe Arnor actually approached Vlandia first. I think it might have been Mamba or someone who wanted to get Vlandia at peace somehow. So they managed to negotiate a deal where Vlandia would Vlandian Empire would bid on caravans in the area. So I think if there was an Arnor caravan in Vlandia, the Vlandians would bid for them and defend them, like in that way. So it would stop people from taking them. And then at the same way for the Empire, it was we would bid on the caravans in West, North, South Empire to defend them, the Arnor caravans, etc. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the deal that we got to get in. And then on top of that, Arnor also control the Frost Sands. So Arnor, Renhuang, and Wildhunt control the Frost Sands. And one of our particular members really wanted to go in the Frost Sands. I didn't want to pay Arnor anything at all, but this one guy ended up paying them like a number of kits. I'm not sure how many kits it was. I can probably find it on our Discord. Someone wrote it down, but it was something like 200 or 400 kits, something like that per week that one of our members paid.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't the clan's money. This guy just decided to individually pay it himself because I basically refused to pay Arnold, so I didn't like being a tributary or something. But I
Yeah.
think that's where the slaves rumor came from. And there's an element of truth in it because Arnold received money in return for us being allowed to go to the Frost Sands. So that was basically us paying them kits. But through this one guy who wanted to pay it.
So it wasn't clan wise, it was only one player.
Yeah, I mean, we made sure to make it so it was an individual person because yeah, I didn't want to be a slave or a vassal to someone. But in the end, it looks like it was that arrangement. And I think Slovak talked about that on your previous episode.
Yeah, I think he
I did see a
mentioned.
little section about it.
Yeah, he mentioned about you guys paying, but he told me it was like one guy. So yeah, I guess it wasn't clan wise. It was only one player who really wanted to farm Frostlands.
Yeah, yeah, and then because this one guy got in, they whitelisted the whole of Northern Empire clan, so the rest of the people could go in as well. And I think eventually someone was threatening the Frostlands, so we eventually got let in as a full member of their alliance after a while. But it was a while, a couple of months maybe, until we actually got into their alliance as an equal member. Um, and then shortly after that, I think maybe it was a week or two, Arnor started getting banned. Obviously there was that big scandal about machine gun crossbow,
Yeah,
which the Sturgians detected, and yeah, a lot of Arnor got banned, and that clan basically disbanded. So we made a new alliance with the same members other than Arnor, basically. After
yeah.
that,
Okay. I saw on YouTube you did yourself some BO content.
yeah. So I make I like uploading videos of battle, just unedited, just like the whole battle. It's not really. I don't really upload it for views. I just more upload it for nostalgia. Sometimes I like to go back and
Yeah,
watch something that happened like a year ago, 2 years ago, and see. I remember that guy. I remember what happened there, and it's just a bit of fun. I mean, some of them got viewed quite a lot. I was quite happy with some of them. Like I think one of them versus DP got about 6,000 or something. So
that's
that was
crazy
pretty
for
cool.
BO. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And also I've done a couple of videos like tutorials, just for people in our clan that I made public, and people have seen that as well. And also I made two like frag movies
mm-hmm.
with music, um, but that was a fun as well. That was a bit of fun.
Yeah, I saw
Quite
some
enjoy.
of your videos for companions actually, which helped me a lot to do
Yeah, I
companion
mean,
missions.
I think I was the first person to discover it, or at least the first person to tell people about it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I discovered that you could link a companion in chat and then delete press
ID the
backspace to find the
backflips.
ID,
Yeah,
and then everything's sequential. I mean, I think it's pretty bad coding by Storm, but everyone was complaining and saying, I don't have the time to do 30 different companion missions every single day. It's
yeah.
ridiculous what Storm expects people to do. Although it is an MMO, I suppose, like you're expected to grind, but I think that's excessive to spend like what could be 3 or 4 hours every single day grinding companions just for a small chance at something good.
So
So I was
is it
quite happy to
illegal to
share.
do? Is that illegal to do to check your
Well,
ideas?
I mean, I posted it in the Banned Online Discord, and I haven't been banned yet, so, and no one's
Okay.
messaged me saying this is illegal. So I'm just
I
gonna
mean,
say
you
that
at
it's
least
not
you
illegal.
discovered it, so people know they can do
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it's. is it cheating if everyone can do it? If everyone has the same
Yeah.
advantage? I don't know. Like it's not gaining advantage over another player. It's everyone's equal so long as it's spread as widely as possible.
Okay. Okay. Makes sense. So did when you were in Hesse, did Hesse make some PvP metas? Did they create anything that was like a big deal for the mod back in the day?
Um, I think Hess. Well, I wasn't in the Hessian clan originally, but I think one of the big things that Hess started, I mean, at least participated in, was when you kill all the enemy players and just farm the troops. Because originally there was no 5 minute timer once a player died.
Mm-hmm.
So the strategy of Hess at the time was just kill all the enemy players and then farm every single troop with your players. And I think Hess was one of the first to do that. If I don't know if they were the first, but they were pretty early in there. And there was a couple of tournaments like organized by the developers, and I
Yeah.
think Hess won a couple because of that, because of farming the troops afterwards. Um, also, I mean, I don't like to blow my own trumpet, but I think I brought back Karnsgard into the meta. So
Okay.
originally Karnsgard were really overpowered and everyone used them. They used to have a glaive and
Yeah.
just they would just you hold fire and charge and they would just destroy everything.
Mm-hmm.
But after a while, like after about 6 months or something, because the devs are very slow, they eventually nerfed the Karnsgard and gave them a countable lance instead.
Okay.
Um, and so they've no one ever used them ever again, pretty much, until I don't know, maybe a year later when I sort of noticed they're really good archers and they have a spear. So if you dismount them, they're probably pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was the meta at the time was Azerais and Volksman. That was it, just Azerais and Volksman. And I discovered if you can take them onto a flank and dismount them, you can shred an entire line of Azerai Mamluks really,
Oh,
really fast.
okay.
It may be
Interesting.
about 20 seconds. And if enemy Volksman charge your Karnsguard, you press hold fire, and they use their spears, and they just kind of do
Mm-hmm.
really good damage to Volksman as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, I get
and
it.
they also can do really good damage to players as you're a farmer. You just see a guy who's farming your Karnsguard, you press F4, he runs into it, you just get stabbed by a Karnsguard and dies. It was
Mm.
really powerful, so I was quite proud of finding that new meta with a
But
Karnsguard, and eventually, even when after Fians have been added and after Cataphracts have been added, they're still competent at countering those troops as well.
okay, what do you think about the current meta?
I don't really like the current meta at all. I think it puts too much emphasis on the players. I think the nature of Bannerlord is about having a medieval
Troops.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about a battle
Commanding.
between the troops. Like eventually, I mean, essentially, the players are just gods right now. We're just like we can kill the entire army without the two sets of troops seeing each other. It's ridiculous to me. But I still participate in it because I want to have fun. But it's just absurd, really, that the players number one is so fast, number two the horses are so healthy, and number three this well, it's just it's so much infantry as well. Like even if the plays were fixed, I just feel like infantry's been buffed too much.
Yeah.
I understand that Storm wanted to make it so there's less cav and less horse archers on the map in the battles, but infantry it's gone too far in the direction of infantry, in my opinion. Because all we have is cataphracts, and the cataphracts' job is to distract the infantry. So um, everything's rotates around infantry at this point.
Yeah, what do
I
you
mean,
think?
what? Yeah, sorry.
What should they add to the mod to balance things out? Should they add more troops? Like in single player, you have way more units that are not even in the mod right now.
I think some of the troops that are in single player, I haven't played single player to be honest, but I've seen them in the encyclopedia, and
Yeah.
some of them look very powerful, like better infantry,
Mm-hmm.
with better armor and things. So I don't really know how they would fix it. I haven't really thought about it at the moment, but I'd prefer maybe for the infantry health to be reduced slightly, and for the Fians to have their two-handed sword removed.
Mm-hmm.
Or yeah, I mean, if they had a one-handed sword instead, that would be much better. Because Fians there would actually be a negative to taking them.
Yeah.
At the moment, if you just have four Fians, there's no real negative to it. You can still win the melee with
Melee
infantry
blob,
even.
yeah, fight with fiends.
Yeah,
They are
yeah.
broken with bows and without bows, so they make it's pretty powerful of a unit to have.
They're certainly broken, and I don't really know why they haven't been fixed like the Kansguard were. It's been a year and a half now.
Yeah.
I suppose the average player after coming from single player, the meta in single player is just to use Fian. So if they were to nerf Fians, then people would be quite unhappy, and it'd
I
be a
mean,
big change to
Fiorens
them.
are not that easy to come by. You need to get all of those kits plus the upgrades. It's not that actually cheap to get them. But I mean, when you get them, they're broken, really broken.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can make what about 20 Fians per hour. So let's say you're making 400k in the Frost Sands. That's something like 20 Fians per hour. So yeah, you can't make them that quick, but
What's
yeah.
happening in Frostlands right now?
Yeah,
Well,
so recently, so in terms of the alliance we've been in currently, so at the moment the alliance is Empire, well, Northern Empire and Vlandia. Previously we did have a much larger alliance, so it used to be Wild Hunt and also Ren Huang, which
yeah.
are a Chinese faction in the alliance. Um, but recently we had some drama that was caused by the Crazy Boys disbanding.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Crazy Boys disbanded, some of their members wanted to join Vlandia, and some of them ended up joining Vlandia. And Wild Hunt is fanatically anti Crazy Boys. At
Yeah.
least that's what they told me. So they hate the players. Well, they want to stop their players from joining other clans basically.
Mm-hmm.
So they kept so because there were some Crazy Boys joining Vlandia, Wild Hunt removed the alliance with Vlandia, and therefore they left the alliance. And Ren Huang basically the original agreement Ren Huang made with Wild Hunt was what
Yeah.
they were following. So when Wild Hunt left, Ren Huang always also left.
Uh-huh.
So I mean that's how our alliance came to where it is. So a couple of weeks after Ren Huang left, some of our members got really annoyed with Ren Huang farming bosses. We used to have an agreement where Ren Huang would farm between a certain period of time, about 8 hours, which is the European night,
Yeah.
and then everyone else would farm during the other time.
Mm-hmm.
But then Ren Yuang, once he left the alliance, started farming all the time.
Oh, so they didn't care about the agreement.
Well,
Huh.
well, when they left the alliance, the agreement was null and void, and so some of our leaders didn't really want to rock the boat, so we kind of put up with it for a while
Yeah.
because we felt that if we were to lose Ren Yuang as an ally or as a neutral faction, everyone else would start invading the Frost Sands. So we kind of didn't rock the boat. But eventually, some of our members in Empire actually, I'm not going to name the names, but they got annoyed with Renhirang stealing Bjorn,
Mm-hmm.
so they just attacked Renhirang, and
Yeah, and
then it kind of everything escalated from there. So it was just one guy attacked another guy. Renhirang took a lot of offense at it, and they started attacking us back, declaring a lot of wars. And then we ended up yeah, so we attacked their farmers. All their farmers got killed, and then we thought, oh, okay, it's over. I guess Renhirang's finished. And they came up with about 20 Fian stacks, just like within like 30 minutes. And we had
oh,
this massive duke out in the Frost Sands. But we
yeah.
eventually we won it. We only had about I think it was 10 or 15 Fian stacks. But Renhirang didn't retreat in battles. I don't really know why they didn't retreat. But they lost eventually, and we took control of the Frost Sands from them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, basically we've just been skirmishing with them in the daytime normally, and then they log out in the evening. After that, we have made another agreement with Eco, which is a different Chinese
Chinese
clan.
clan, yeah.
Yeah, that one also. I think it's members of Ren Huang who split off because they wanted to do more 5v5s and more PvP.
Yeah.
So Eco is much better at horse PvP. And I've seen them go into the Frostlands every now and again with some Fian stats as well. But yeah, I think Eco and Ren Huang have been battling out in the daytime, and then by the time I normally get home and log on, there's no Chinese in the Frostlands at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So Frostlands has been like peaceful now, let's say.
yeah, well, I mean, I've got today on holiday, so I was looking forward to fighting Ren Huang in the Frostlands, but we've not seen a single one today. We've been waiting for them to log on, and nothing's happened. So I'm quite disappointed, really. I was hoping for some battles in the Frostlands.
Yeah, since there is so many of Chinese, you hope that they would be there actually farming.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they've given up for the moment.
What do you think? What does the mod need? Since we got the 5v5s fixed at like I think that it's fixed now. What does the mod need to bring more players to play?
Well, I think number one is the riding skills need to be figured out, so it's not so tilted towards the all veteran players. or people who
Mm-hmm.
are going to be able to grind for an entire week to get 200 riding. So I think the stamina perks need to be rebalanced, and that's the big thing that I've been suggesting for a while. Um, and I think also the experience just needs to be doubled or something, just permanently doubled, because it's not very fast at all to get a new player into battle. I mean, I think the main content people are looking for is PvP. At least from what people I've spoken to who have started the game, they're
Yeah.
looking to be in battles. So the faster we can let newer players experience play versus player battles, and I mean that would be the better. I also think that, well, something else the mod needs is maybe more things like Blacklaw. I think Blacklaw is a fantastic mission that the developers added. They obviously
Mm-hmm.
spent quite a bit of time on it, and it's some of the best content they added. I think, in my opinion, that's above native Bannerlord. So if they can add something more similar to that, maybe something more difficult, or just a couple of extra stages at the end, I think that would be a big thing for new players to do. Um,
Mm-hmm. So you think they should add like something that you need like to get 5 guys on, which is not just PvP, but with it can be PvE to train people up to have more like content with each other. You think that?
yeah,
Or?
I mean, more PvE content which allows people to train their skills and just have fun with friends. Really, I mean, there's the Wildlands and the Frostlands, which are PvE content, but in order to be into them, you have to be willing to fight in PvP, and some people aren't willing to do that at the early stages their character development's in. So things like Blacklaw are really a big thing for newer players to do. Um, I mean, you're only limited. You can only do Blacklaw once a day, and then you can only do a certain amount of Bandits Empire. And at that point, you're just left fighting bandits, like
Yeah.
looters and sea raiders and forest bandits, until you leveled up to a good point. So there needs to be more things for new players to do, really, just in general.
What do you think about the upcoming castle update in a week, as they say?
I don't believe it's going to be anytime soon. I'll say a number of years before. Well, thing is, I mean, I hope they prove me wrong, but I think it's going to be a couple of years before anything's done about castle updates. They're just taking so long to do anything at all at the moment. I don't really expect anything from them. Uh, they don't really, yeah. Maybe they'll release something by Christmas, but it's probably quite a small thing, if anything. I mean, what
Yeah.
they sent in the announcements is not particularly big or interesting to me. They did say they're working on castle updates, but that was, I mean, starting work on something and not actually being near to finishing it is
Yeah,
pretty
I
far
think I
apart.
heard that castles were like said to be added like one and a half year ago, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah. It was, yeah. It's been a meme for a while now, where they keep making very uh, short delivery dates and not actually not following through on it.
Yeah, I think this year like the major update was the pumpkin update, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, there was that Linux update. They added made the servers into Linux, but in my opinion, that was a bit of a backward step. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
really yeah, that kind of went backwards. It broke more things than it fixed, in my opinion. Although I don't know about the Chinese server. They said that was for the Chinese server
Yeah.
to fix things. But yeah, the pumpkin update, that was something.
I think that brought people were really hyped when they brought pumpkins because I think that was the only like big update in a year that the game got, and it
Yeah, and to
brought
be
people
fair,
to
like it was
play.
a lot of money. That you can make a lot of money in that. Because you make like 70k per stack, and you could do one every 5 minutes. It was a massive amount of money you could make. Way better than the Frost Sands. But yeah, it wasn't really
So,
anything special.
what do you think is driving people not to play the mod?
Well, I mean, as I said, people are coming back, so I think there's more people coming back. So I wouldn't say there's anything driving people to quit the mod now in particular. It's just I think it's more the new player experience which is causing a lot of new players to quit. I think a lot of people who are playing now will probably continue to play as long as there's exciting 5v5 battles to do. Um,
But don't the new players get like targeted by the older players and just get like
yeah, yeah. I
fought
mean,
out?
there's something which has been talked about a couple of times, which was PvE clans, like a clan which is maybe you're limited to tier 5 or tier 6,
Mm-hmm.
but cannot be attacked. That
Oh,
could be
that's a good
something
idea.
for new players. Yeah, well, I mean, it's not my idea, but someone mentioned it in ideas and wishes, and I think that could be something for new players to protect them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of new players they want a banner, right? They want some color on their uniforms. Everyone hates that generic orange and brown bird.
Yeah.
At least I don't like it on my troops. So if you can have a clan which it cannot be attacked, then that would be a big bonus. And some people are arguing that it would be unbalanced because PvP clan members could put their alt accounts in that. But in my opinion as before, if everyone else, if everyone can do it, then it's not really unbalanced. If everyone can have a PvE clan for their alt account, then I don't think it's a big deal.
Do you have any of your ideas that you think that would be great for the mod?
Well, I mean, the thing that I really hate is the tournaments at the moment. I've declared war over tournament teaming, and I probably will declare more wars over it. So if the, I mean, my idea is to allow tournament teams to advance as one team. So it's not based on the kills or your survival. It should be based on which team you want, and if the team wins, that should be how you progress in the tournament. Or they should
Mm-hmm.
just remove skill books and make something that's less valuable as the prize, so that people aren't incentivized to team so much in it.
Okay, but that's a fix. Do you want anything new?
Something new.
Yeah.
Hmm. I haven't really thought about it because I don't really expect anything from the devs.
I mean, most of the people who are old players don't expect anything literally from the mod.
If
They
you don't
just play it.
expect anything, then you don't get disappointed when nothing
True,
happens.
true,
Uh, if
true.
if you if you spend the if you keep thinking that in 2 months' time there'll be a big update, then you'll be disappointed. I think. So to be honest, I don't really expect anything from the devs.
But if you can have one thing, what would it be?
I
Would
would
you
say
like to occupy
addition.
a city? Maybe.
Well, I mean, obviously everyone wants to occupy a castle. That would be a good thing, but I think that's a bit too generic to say because everyone really wants that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wouldn't want to occupy a city because would mean that'd be too powerful. You could just stop someone from getting in the market and things.
Mm.
I wouldn't like that. I wouldn't say there's anything I really desire from the developers other than just keep working on the updates they're doing.
So just something. Yeah, you just want something to happen.
Anything. I mean,
Anything to happen.
I'm having fun at the moment playing the mod,
Mm-hmm.
and if they can keep on progressing it, even if it's slow, then that's enough for me, really.
Okay. Well, Lastash, thank you for coming. It was a pleasure talking to you.
All right, yeah, wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Do you have anything in mind? Who should I invite? Any in particular?
Well, I think there's some. I mean, who have you spoken to? You've spoken to Slovak, Alsafar, and
Strat.
Strategist, right?
Yeah.
Um, I would say Vlandian maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe you could talk to a Reni Rang leader. I think the one of the Reni Rang guys speaks English. Maybe
Ooh.
Zishu. That
Ooh.
might be quite interesting to learn about his drama and things.
Okay. Thank you, man.
All
Guys,
right, yeah,
stay tuned for the next episode. See ya.
thanks. Bye.